You're listening to the Claret and Big Blue podcast on the Pass the Gravy Podcast Network.
Who do you think you are? I am!
Goat's vagina, that thing was huge.
Don't give
You
him
said
any
that,
cake.
not me.
Just come on.
Taken away by Wicks. Let's see it! Oh, it's glorious! Play action. Over the middle. Touchdown, Giants. Give me a hell yeah.
And we are live.
Do it live!
Welcome everyone to Claret and Big Blue, probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right, football and football, Bulls. For everyone says, I am Mike Fish, and joining me, the man to my left, I guess, mirroring. I'm trying to think.
It depends on where you're looking at it from.
Yes, is in some direction, about 1,500 miles away. It's Mr. Alex Middleton. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
Is that really how many miles it is?
Roughly. I did
Have you done
Google
the
it.
math? You did, okay.
But
I was
as the
gonna say, if you
as
had
the
guessed,
as the crow flies, it's like 13 something. But if you were to actually drive it, it's about 1,600 miles.
okay, yeah, I don't know.
It would take about 24 hours to drive, apparently.
See, I'm terrible at, like, if you tell me like the distance between anything like that, like I am the worst guesser.
I know I am, as the crow flies, I am about 3,200 miles away from where I grew up. That was fun. I don't know why. I remember, because when at work, whenever we used to get a new member of the team, we'd have to do some shitty icebreaker thing. And it would be like a fun fact about yourself. And so I just use that every single month. Yeah, I'm currently 3,200 miles from where I grew up. Can you not hear me? Hello. Uh-oh. Right, okay. Hold with us, people. Can you hear me now?
I got you. Hold on. What about now?
Yep, hello? Hello.
I'm trying to get. I don't know what's going on here, man.
Right, one second. Let me,
I got you right now. I'm trying to get. I don't know what's going on here, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I just pulled up. Yeah, okay. That was weird. So I don't know what happened there. I was like panicking because I thought it was my microphone since we just set it up. Anyway, so yes, you can hear me now? We good?
I can.
Beautiful. Okay. That was a fun little icebreaker. How's things in H-Town? I know it's been a little bit of moist and windy down there. Everyone's safe, everyone good?
Well, we just got through the Nicholas is whatever the hurricane was named. That is, I think, gone through Houston. We luckily lost power just for a little bit, but didn't really get a ton of damage. I am in an apartment building though, so I'm pretty high up, which is usually pretty good for me. But
Did it wobble a little bit?
I didn't really. It felt windy on the way to work this morning, but it was loud and it was rainy. But other than that, we got through it without really having to go through the worst of it. There were people that definitely had flooded stuff, but it just sucks, man. Fuck hurricanes. Not a big fan.
So what's the point of them?
Yeah, what's the big deal, dude? Get over yourself.
At least when you think of shitty things like wasps and things, when you Google them,
Hurricanes
eventually
are definitely up there.
you find that wasps do something, okay, but hurricanes, what do they do other than? Because it's not like they clean shit.
Fuck shit
Because
up.
they just fuck shit up. It's not like a giant leaf blower. If after a hurricane, you walked outside your house and you're like, this has never been cleaner. Thanks, hurricane. Then it'd be different. But it's fuck shit up. I saw a picture. I don't know if it was local to you. I saw your place of work retweeted it. It was like the whole gas station pretty much just went just wonked onto the side. Jesus Christ. Fuck hurricanes. That's
Not a fan at all, for sure. And then especially because the one that just hit New Orleans not too long ago, and all Louisiana, and it's just back-to-back ones are really not great.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too super serious, but yeah, that Hurricane Ida because it came through my way, and I live on a hill, so it was fine. I think I mentioned it last week, but our street become a river because it was just flowing down. But then I heard like wild, like people were some put like drown in their car. That's how high the water became. It's like I can't even get my mind around that shit. It's fucking wild.
Yeah,
But on to positive. So what did you do? I mean, because I'm going to stretch this out because the rest of the content in this show is not going to be fun. What did you get up to this weekend? Did you get anything fun and funky?
I mean, I watched my teams disappoint me, so that was pretty much what I did. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned the Giants on this show. What an asshole.
All right, what are you doing?
I had this perfect meme ready, like to make fun of Cowboys fans, and then we lost, and I was like, well, I can't fucking use that this week.
Right.
I have to hold on to that
It's
one.
good that you didn't post it first.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something that pissed me off before we get into the sports aspect. Right. Now, spoiler alert, this is... I submitted this for the PTG Not Cool segment, so I hope it's going to get mentioned on Past the Gravy tomorrow when you record it. So I don't expect you to respond too much, because obviously I want you to save your content for your podcast. But my issues with Finland Airlines... Holy shit, right? Okay, because I'm going to give you some context, because I can't put all of this in 280 characters. It's hard. Plus, you've got the hashtags and shit.
Right.
So, here's a little backstory to what happened to me. So, I booked a flight, and through Finnair, and then, that's such a stupid name, because it's like, you'd think, oh, Finnair. That's Finnair. Well, anyway. So, they emailed me in Finnish, which, I mean, I can't complain because it's a Finnish
I mean, that would be their
company
main language, I would assume.
So I had to copy the email into Google Translate, and I found out that what they were saying to me was, hey, by the way, your return flight, not both your flights, your return flight has been cancelled. There are no alternatives available. Sorry. If you would like...
RB.
If you'd like a refund, please contact the website that you bought it from. And I was like, I bought it from your fucking website. Just give me the refund.
Well, then call us again.
So I phoned them, and I sat on hold for almost 2 hours to finally get through to someone who was like, what's the problem? And I was like, well, you cancelled my return flight. What am I going to do? And he goes, oh, would you like to book an alternative? So apparently there is no alternatives. And he tapped away. Oh, yeah, there's a return flight. It's like just an hour later. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks. I've just sent you an email conversation. Like, why couldn't they have just done that? Why do you have to sit on hold for 2 goddamn hours?
That's the part where, like, the game it's like a game they make you play to where you have to wait and like not want to like just off yourself listening to robots talk to you, or like push 6 for this, and then you have to listen to a menu, and then you have to say your name, and you have to hope that it hears your name correctly and whatever your code is correctly, and then eventually you get to a human who usually you're in the wrong department, so they have to transfer you to the other department, and sometimes that department's closed if it's late and if it's past 5 o'clock and they're only open Monday through Friday, and then you're like, damn it, now I have to do this all over again on Monday. Sometimes they're having to transfer you to somebody else who then might not be open. And it's just like, to get to a human is an achievement enough. And like, I'm glad that you at least got like the reward from it. So that's a positive way to look at it. It sucks. Like, they just want to fuck with you on the, like the robot doesn't give a shit. So they're like, yep, sorry.
Fuck robots.
You're
Fuck
out.
robots. Because I tried doing it on the website when they did the live chat option, and it was just an automated shit. How can I help you? Select one of these options.
Hope you're having a great day.
And I just kept putting, speak to human. Oh, I see, so you want to speak to a human. Before I put you through to a rep, please answer this question. Speak to human. And it's like, looks like we're not getting anywhere. Fuck you, robot. Just give me a fucking human. But,
yeah, they don't like that, but...
They do
help us out more, you know?
Yeah. So, fuck robots and fuck Finnair. But yeah, for the...
I didn't know that existed, honestly, until you told me about it. It's
the first time I've ever flown with them, but no, but it's one of those things of like,
is it a scam? It seems like
it's like I'm flying with Finnair, but the flight is done by British Airways, so it's like, well, so you're a fake airline. How does this work? I don't understand
Shadow
that.
Company.
It's like they're laundering money through this airline.
Is that what it is?
I reckon that's probably what it is. It's a scam. It's a big scam. Looking out for that.
Yeah, I would check it out first. Like, are you getting scammed out of like just paying plane ticket money?
Yeah.
Like people like that'd be the worst. They're like, actually, I'm sorry, sir. We don't have a terminal for that. I've never even heard of that airline. You're like, I swear there's a website. Like, yeah, dude, this is not for us.
Can you point me to Terminal 69? Oh, did you book a flight through Finnair? Yes. Oh, sorry, pal.
Something like on Harry Potter. Like, you get to run through a wall.
Terminal 78 and a half. 9 3/4. There we go. Look at that. Look at you, Harry Potter fan.
I know Harry Potter.
You big Potter fan?
I read the book.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Did you
I was a
like?
kid when it came out. I read the books as a kid.
I mean, I could get into those. The last 2 Harry Potter movies were terrible. I'm sorry if anyone's listening and they're a Harry Potter.
Way better.
Oh, I'm sure it
Probably
was.
Some of the last books I've ever read, honestly.
But goddamn Harry Potter. Anyway, I think we've dragged it out enough. I think we need to get some sports.
Rip the fucking Band-Aid off.
Yeah. So we've got 2 games to review and 3 games to preview. It's a hell of a week. Let's just start off, I guess, with the Giants. New York Giants played the Denver Broncos in their season opener, and I got a nice little graphic just to kind of break us into the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. Yep. So that happened.
Yeah.
Where do we start with this one? So obviously the Giants lost 27-13 to the Denver Broncos. And I don't know about you, but it just seemed like an incredible feeling of deja vu. Like we talked about it, we was all excited about it, everything they've added to the team. But if you told me, if I watched that game,
wasn't bad for most of the game. They were fairly decent, like pass blocking at least.
I guess, but I mean, if someone had told me,
they had their moments for sure. I mean, obviously, we all saw like the horrible block, like not the best, just like still photos of our blocking that game. But like for the most part, I felt like they gave Danny some time to throw at points, and we were able to make plays like with the offensive line's blocking. So it's not like that was a positive, I guess. But just like they couldn't get anything done. I don't know if I'm just scapegoating Jason Garrett and it's him being from the Cowboys that I just hate. And like I came in with an open mind, I feel like last year when he was our OC, but just like he does the exact same thing he did on the Cowboys where it's okay, it's 3rd and 12. So what we're going to do is you guys run 6-yard routes and we're going to get a completion, crushing it. Yeah, well, we completed it. And you're like, yeah, but we completed it and it's still just 4th and 6th now. Or 4th and 6th, like you can't be throwing it short of the chains every single time. And it's not like there weren't always like there weren't routes that were run past the chains. He was expecting like you have athletic guys, you want your playmakers to go make plays, but like you can't expect everybody to have to juke somebody out every fucking time that they catch it. And doing that every 3rd down, defenses start to just push up like they know what you're going to do. They're not scared of it. I feel like we ran almost every single first down. It was the play calling was so fucking predictable. And if Jason Garrett's the guy calling plays, like I got to feel like if I'm kind of figuring out the plays we're running and I haven't watched film on us really, and I'm just watching game 1 of the season, like that's a bad sign. The people that are watching film on it every day are definitely picking up stuff. And it looked that way. Teddy Bridgewater ripped us apart. I feel like their defense knew exactly what to do to get through us. Like the defense, we'll get to that in a second, but just, like the entire like offensive scheme just was flawed from start to finish. I feel like we had the Shepard big play, but it was like if we have to rely on that big play too much, and you're not going to win games. We can't score points.
No, I mean if you look at the stats of our running game, this is why I'm talking about our leading stats for running was Daniel Jones.
Well, he's a running quarterback. That's why.
But Saquon Barkley, 10 carries for 26 yards. That's not a good stat.
It's not a good stat, and it's one of those things where I almost was like not super upset. We did become more one-dimensional. You can't really sell the play action, and I'm talking myself out of this take as I'm making it right now. But I started the sentence, so like Michael Scott, I'm just gonna finish it. I feel like the running wasn't working, and at a certain point, like the Giant, a lot of the problem that I felt like Garrett had last year was we wanted to establish the run, and like yes, it is very important when we had Gallman running and we could have the play action and all that. Like yeah, it worked out, but like when the run wasn't working, having to like running on 3 straight downs that are getting 2 yards and then punting was not a solid system. And when you're playing from behind, you can't really afford to do that. So when we were behind, it was like we were trying to just like abandon the run. In that second half, it was basically us just trying to keep up with the Broncos. And like we just didn't like running. It would have just wasted more time and been more like more misuse of time. At least like they were taking some shots. I felt like at a certain point, it was just like not on crucial downs. If it wasn't first or second down, there's not a deep pass threat at all. And if it was on first down, it's about 9 out of 10 times going to be a run. So really, you got about second down right there, and then third down we're going to underperform. And I did not understand what it was. I liked the quarterback runs with Danny. Danny fumbled it, but fucking all right, he's my guy. I was very mad. To the point where I wasn't even like yelling at the TV at a certain point, and I was just like, I felt like when your dad's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. I was just like, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk, son. Sit in the car. We're driving home for 3 hours from this soccer camp. We were just
think about what you did today.
Fucking word. I don't want you to say. I'm turning the radio down. You're not saying a fucking word.
I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
That's how I felt, and. I don't know. Danny he fumbles the ball too much. Yeah, he fumbles the ball in like I think 30 of 28 games he's had a fumble or some shit like that or a turnover or whatever the stat was. I don't fucking care. He's my guy. Rooting against Daniel Jones is rooting against the fucking the pilot of your plane. Like we just want to crash and burn right now? Oh, we want to tank? Fuck you. No. We have the Bears to do that. The Bears can tank for us. That's fine. That's our top pick. The season's not over. It's one fucking game. I've talked myself out of it, and that's the problem. I have this insane. That's what an insane person does, where I just expect a different result while doing the exact same thing, and I'm like suicidal on Sunday while I'm watching them, and then when they disappoint me, I'm just it's the worst. And then Monday comes around, Tuesday comes around, I'm like, okay, well, like. What if this happens and then we could do this, and all we got to do is correct this. Okay, and then I'm back in, and then Sunday comes around and they let me down again, and then I'm just upset and I'm mad, and then I talk myself back into other ways that things will work out, and it's a bad system.
You've been waiting for that all day, haven't you?
I feel like it. Yeah, this is very cathartic. That's the word I'm looking for.
But before we move on, I don't want to... Okay, because I put out that stat about Saquon, 10 carries, only averaging 2.6 yards. Before we move on, I'm not joining, because I've always seen it, and I've seen it I'm not joining the whole, do we need to reevaluate Saquon Barkley, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of dissing and trashing Saquon Barkley. I'm just using that stat to back up the fact that the play calling was terrible. I don't think that was on Saquon. I think
they're easing him back in. I feel like
I've seen a bunch of people already doing this things on Saquon again. It's like, fuck's sake.
I quit paying attention to a lot of the people. I've unfollowed some people. It's just like, dude, if you're just gonna be negative and shit on the team every single time without trying, like, I don't know, you shouldn't shit on fans for rooting for somebody. And I'm just trying to be the positive guy on this point, where I'm like, I am a very negative person, but I just want my team to do well. Excuse me. And then me rooting for Daniel Jones, like, oh, well, that's what you get for support. And like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm supporting the quarterback of my team. Go fuck yourself. You want to lose. Go fuck yourself. It's week 1.
A lot of people do just want.
We're going to go 16-1.
They want their team to. They want their team to lose just so they have something to say, because they don't know how to be happy or positive.
Right. So that's how I feel most of the time. The Giants is that one thing that can make me feel happy when they win. So but the only happen more often. Let's try that.
The only last negative really I want to get, because positives, there was positive. I think from the previous 2 seasons, there was 0 sacks on Danny Dimes, which I thought was pretty good. Was there one?
believe there's one.
I don't remember one.
Let me check.
Check it. Check it.
There were 2. Von Miller had 2.
Really?
Yeah, I remember he had 1, but I know I didn't realize he had 2.
Huh. Okay. Well, he didn't throw an interception. He didn't throw.
For the most part, yeah, he fumbled it at a very not crucial time, but
One thing I will, because I'm going to bring this up, because again, I put my little stat cheat sheet that I like to bring. So, like throwing game, receiving game, I thought was very strong. So I've got Shepard averaging 16 yards receptions, which is again, obviously you want to see some 60 yards and blah blah blah. Yeah, touchdown. Slayton 3 receptions, 21 yards average. Kenny Golladay, I thought he did well on his first game, sliding in quite well.
Right.
The only thing I'm not going to wear his t-shirt today because I thought the Giants didn't. Our boy Kadarius Toney, who's on our t-shirt that you can buy at merch.cbrepo.com. How they used him, I wasn't. Again, maybe because I know he's been in and out with injuries and COVID, I think. But it was literally, I think I saw someone post this, and I can't remember the exact who it was, so I apologize. I'm not going to quote you. But it was literally every time. I think they only brought in twice, I think, to the game. So it was kind of like, we're going to do something with this guy. And so everyone just, all the defense just focused on Kadarius Toney.
In here?
And so he played, I think he received it twice and lost yardage every time. Because it was kind of, he hasn't been playing the whole fucking game. They must be playing something funky with him. And they just shut it down. So, maybe I'm hoping it was just kind of like, we'll just give him a couple of snaps just to get him in. But I don't know.
Yeah, 2 catches, -2 yards.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know stats can be used, especially in sports, to paint a picture. But it was...
I'd like to think it's them working him in from an injury. And if they're trying to work in Saquon... If they're trying to work Kadarius into the lineup, I get that. Like, you don't want to go too hard and get him injured or, have him out for a period of time like that. And if that's what it is, okay. But if Jason Garrett, which I feel like I just am in the Jason Garrett hate mode where, like, I'll die for Danny Dimes right now. But, like, Jason Garrett, fuck him. And, like, Does he just not know what to do with weapons? Like, does he just not know what to do? He had that problem in Dallas. He had quite a few weapons, and he just never could make it work with them.
Well, that's a frustrating thing because it seems like with all the extra weapons that we've brought in during the postseason, preseason, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't seem like we've improved offensively. I mean, it's only, like I say, it's only one game, but still, like it was just, like I said, it was a deja vu. Possession, our offense was on the field,
line, and that was gonna be my excuse right there. But like, Washington has a fucking really good defensive line, and even better defensive line. So good luck against them.
But our offense was only on the field for 24 minutes for that game.
And that's the, and then like we're like, wow, how did the defense get worn down there at the end? Because the defense was on the field the whole fucking time because we can't run the ball. Like the defense did a pretty solid job. They didn't give up big plays. They gave up a bunch of checkdowns. And at the end of the game, like when you don't have any offense to like take time off the clock, you're just gonna get worn out. They just got they got beat. It wasn't the best we've ever seen our defense. But like it wasn't like we had a ton of holes, like right in between the linebacker coverage, that there was some issues there in the passing game. But like Blake Martinez had fucking played his ass off, dude. Blake Martinez is a straight up fucking G, and we need him. He's the most valuable player on our defense, I think. And I don't know. He was all over the fucking field. We were giving up a bunch of checkdowns just to avoid the big play, and that didn't happen. And then eventually, like, we broke in the fourth quarter, and it did happen, and that was what sealed the game. And it was frustrating because I feel like the defense holds up a little bit better if the offense can take some time off the clock. Like we had turnovers when we needed turnovers. We had certain things happen the way we needed them to happen, and we had opportunities to win that game, and we weren't able to capitalize. And yeah, the defense let them score, and they couldn't fucking tackle at times on defense. I was very frustrated with the tackling, and just Teddy Bridgewater made them look like fools. Like there were a couple of plays where you're just like, okay, I'm mad, but like, why? How do you do that? How do you even spin out of that? How does he fall down and like then just stand up and toss a touchdown pass? Like, how does that work? I don't know, but
that one where he got tackled but he stayed up and
He Eli'd it and then stood
He
up
almost went out of bounds and then threw it for like a 20-yard reception. But yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad for the defense because they did. I think definitely for the first quarter they worked their ass off. They stopped. They made some very important stops in the red zone a couple of times. But then it was kind of like, okay, here's the ball, and then the offense would be on there for like a minute. Like, your turn again. So, fuck. It was incredibly frustrating.
Like, we didn't have a bunch of 3-and-outs. We did have we had some 3-and-outs, but like they were. It was like statistically to make it look like there's not really any super defense of how bad the offense was. Look at the points scored, but it was like we were good at getting one first down, and then that was it. And usually it was like we'd get a first down on the passing down, which was our second down. There's no pay attention to that. Run 9 out of 10 times on first down. Pass like about 80% of the time on second down, and then usually shitty check down pass or a draw every third down. So that was basically Jason Garrett's strategy, and I kind of had it formulaically looked like I was looking at. I drew a fucking formula for it. Like obviously I'm telling you right now. So yeah, it was pretty noticeable. And again, we're not breaking down the all 22 tape like the Washington football team is currently. So they better figure it out. But they need to eat up more clock. That's where, I know you were saying with establishing the run game, that definitely helps. Like, but just moving the fucking ball down the field and not putting your defense in a bad position. Danny needs to hold on to the fucking ball, and we've said that over and over again. But just one of these days he's gonna figure it out, right? He has to. I don't know.
I mean, it's just one game, but still, it's failing isn't bad as long as you learn from your mistakes, and I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned. The only good thing coming out of this was that
I'm very concerned. We're not getting to the button, but I'm very concerned.
The only good thing coming out of this week one is that Washington lost and the Cowboys lost as well. So it's not like.
And the Eagles, I don't think are good as they looked. I think the Falcons are just really bad.
Yeah, so it's not the end of the world, but we definitely need to step it up. And so before, I was kind of excited about, hey, we got a Sunday game and a Thursday game. I get to watch my Giants basically twice in a week. But now I'm kind of like, oh shit, I kind of wish we had more time to prepare for the next game.
We could have the worst Thursday. Like, we have both West Ham and Giants on Thursday, and it could just be terrible. And then I was looking at like next month's schedule. West Ham and the Giants play like 3 of the 4 Sundays.
Oh,
like, fuck.
So they could be the best of Sundays, or they could be the worst of Sundays.
Well, I like at least like if West Ham plays Saturday morning, then like I can ride the high if West Ham wins. But like, if like West Ham were to win and then the Giants just shit the bed, like then it's like, oh no, like I can't enjoy any of this.
It's like I was like when I got to look at the schedule, I was like, oh, hey, but at least Giants can't ruin my Sunday because they're not playing on Sunday. Oh, West Ham are playing Man United and Cristiano Ronaldo. And our only striker is suspended for that game. Fantastic.
And we will have just played a game on Thursday using our best guys as well. And Man United just lost, so they're going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Before we switch sports, then
we gotta look. We gotta look at the Washington game.
The Washington game. We're playing Washington. The Washingtons on Thursday Night Football. Where, I mean,
Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick's out, so Taylor Heineke's going to be at QB for him.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is out for 3 weeks with a hip injury, and Heineke is coming in. I saw Judge. Did you see Joe Judge? I didn't see obviously all of the Joe Judge press conference today, but I saw some clips of it where he was like saying, "Hey, well, Heineke's no slouch. We're not going to look past him. We're going to play blah 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 blah." And people were like, "Well, what? Giants is going to keep doing this game against that Washington." Okay, I was about to say the R word. Shouldn't say the R word.
Yeah.
Washington, and I was kind of like, well, what did you want him to do? Did you really want him to just go, "Hey, this is exactly our game plan," like 2 days ahead of the game? No, he's not going to say exactly what he's planning on doing against them. That'd be stupid.
Right.
But
tear that down when you're trying to find a reason to hate, and a lot of people are doing that right now.
But I didn't watch Washington this past weekend. Is it? I guess is it a plus that their main quarterback's out and their backups in?
Definitely better than Ryan Patrick being in, for sure. I mean, Fitzpatrick a couple of games a year where he cannot complete it to the right team. That would have been cool if that was one of those games, but he also has like 2, 3, 4 games a year where he throws for like 500 yards and fucks you over. So I don't want that game either. Taylor Heineke he was decent last year when in the cleanup duty he did, and I mean, like I think he took over for Alex Smith when he was down, and whoever the other quarterback was went down, and he played in the playoff game that they lost. But really, I don't know, man. I don't think it really matters. They get Antonio Gibson back to run. They have Terry McLaurin, who's awesome on the receiving spot. They lost Samuel. I think he's out for this season, but they're gonna challenge our defense for sure. I don't think that Heineke's obviously as good as Bridgewater. So Bridgewater, there's times where your defense wins, but then the quarterback just beats the defense on his own. And I don't think that Heineke's going to do that as much as Bridgewater did on Sunday. I fucking hope he's not. But it all really comes down to our offense against their defense, because Washington showed that they can put up 20-something points if they need to. We can't. Can we put up double-digit points? That's really what I'm worried about. Are we going to be able to do that? Defense is young. It's going to be able to. He's going to be coming for us. They have maybe the best defensive line in the league. I would say they probably do. And their linebacking core is solid. Their secondary is maybe their weakest spot, but they're nothing to joke at. If we can't get the ball moving, man, we're fucked. If we have another 50 minutes and 10 minutes split on the time of possession, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's. I'm hoping that after the first game, Saquon's now back. Okay, I'm ready. I hope they include Tony into the games more often and don't make it so fucking obvious that he's the guy we're aiming at.
What happened last week didn't work. So you hope that you have to be like, okay, let's adjust some of these plays. But last season, it turned into just, well, no, we're going to run this play again. Let's try this again. Maybe it'll get them this time. It's like, hey, they're stopping that weekend. Like when they stop those plays, don't do it anymore.
But they stopped it 10 times. They stopped it 10 times. They won't expect it 11th time.
Exactly.
Oh shit, they did. They expected it. Okay.
What do you think? How do you think the game's going to go?
Are we?
I was trying to get back over it, sell myself on him, and I think I'm mad again. And this is week 1. I don't like this. I'm in a bad.
So, are we predicting with our heart or our head?
I don't care. Just predict. Just make your damn prediction, Mike.
Get this over with. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is gonna be. Well, no, okay. We always beat Washington. Daniel Jones has never lost against Washington.
But they're due, and that's the other problem.
It's kind of like the connection with West Ham was that whenever we play a team, someone always comes out with stats like, "Whoa, this team that West Ham's playing has never scored a goal against West Ham." Oh well, here we go. This is the game they're gonna fucking do it, and they beat us 4-0. Yeah, I don't know. We scored 13 points, and I'm surprised we scored 13 points last week. So I don't know. I can't see us scoring any more than that. I guess we'll go. I'm gonna keep positive vibes, but it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna go 14-13 Giants.
I hope that's not the game. That would be so fucking boring.
But no, I think that's the only way we win this game is if we keep Washington less than 14 points.
Yeah, it makes your logic is solid. Man, I think it'll be like 27.
I could see it being
27-17. Washington's gonna win. We're not gonna win this game. We're gonna lose to a backup quarterback, and then I'm just gonna, I don't know. I might call a helpline on Thursday night. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be good. But
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, and I'll be completely turned around next week on this podcast.
And also, spoiler, I'm not calling back to our predictions last week because on both games, we did not do very well. So that's
Only game matters is the next one.
yeah. So shall we? I guess turn to some slightly more positive stuff with West Ham. I mean, we didn't lose, but so we played Southampton, drew 0-0. Let me actually see if I can pull it up real quick. So so in England, they still had this ridiculous ruling, or whatever, that they can't show the 3 p.m. kickoffs on Saturday on TV.
Why?
Because back in the day, they were worried that if they showed the 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday on TV, then live attendance would drop because people would just stay at home watching on TV. Which I think now, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, so okay, so my dad texted me immediately after the game, asking me like, "Hey, what did you think of the game? Tell me about it." Blah blah blah. And I said, "It wasn't bad, wasn't good. It's just something that happened during 2 hours of my life." And I think that's a
great way to explain that.
Because it was just a sloppy game. Both teams were just giving the ball away constantly. It seemed that no one could fucking complete a pass. I literally have nothing. When I was going to write down, I was trying to write notes down. I have nothing. I mean, Bowen had a pretty solid game. I think he looked tasty going forward and getting some shots in. Other than that, not really much.
Yeah,
happened. We had like,
we had 2 chances that I can think of off the top of my head that were really like legitimate chances.
Three shots on target. 3 shots on target.
It felt like we dominated time of possession. We had 58%, but I mean, there were 2 times that Southampton should have scored for sure. Fabianski had a pretty solid save on one of those opportunities, but it just did the same thing. Our defense looked pretty good for the most part, and then they just like had like a mental breakdown on like 2 different opportunities that could have and should have probably led to goals. And that's not great. I don't know. Another one that just like the Palace game, it just felt like a loss.
That time when they hit the post, it looked like there was no communication because it just looked like when they played it forward, it was like Ogbonna was like to Dawson. Oh, was you? I thought you were staying back. No, I thought you were staying back. Fuck! And then Ogbonna had to try to chase him back, and then it looked shoddy. But yeah. It was just a boring game. I was kind of wishing it would be better, but Antonio didn't look lively. Really, I mean, because I don't want to.
He just runs around.
I don't want to pad out some content just to put like because I want to sound like I'm knowing what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk, but because I don't want to say like, oh, Antonio necessarily didn't have a good game because I don't want it to sound like I'm digging individual players out because just generally across the board, it wasn't a very good performance. At all, like, it wasn't. There was no. Oh well, that player was shit.
Played pretty well. He got carded though, so then you can take that away from him. I mean, that'd be what I'd say. That's about it. Declan was pretty good. Everybody else was what the fuck. Sufal was awesome. Sufal's always awesome. Okay. Now I'm walking it back.
I think Bowen looked decent.
I feel like we hesitate too much, and we don't hesitate. Maybe it's not hesitation. It is a little bit, but it's like we wait too much to make the perfect shot. We wait too much for the perfect shot. There's times where like I feel like we hold it too much. We make one extra pass that wasn't necessarily needed. Where it's like just shoot the fucking ball, shoot the fuck yeah. I'm not saying try and Lanzini it against Tottenham every single time. Like, I get that was in stoppage time, but, like, every now and then, like, when you feel like you might have a chance, just rip it. Just rip it. Make them worry. I think West Ham's goals all come from inside the box right now. And most goals I get come from inside the box. But, like, you got to, like, there were a couple opportunities I felt like when it's, like, a 1-on-2 and you got an angle on them, just take the shot.
Yeah, there was too many times when we would look like
Especially against a team like Southampton, like you test the goalie a little bit, make him a little bit nervous. You get him shooken up a little bit, then he comes out next time, and you make the extra pass then, and then you get the goal. Like little like that. I feel we're not doing this.
But there was too many times when, and I was watching it on my phone in the car, and I was with a nervous driver, so every time I was like, "Oh fuck," and she was like, "Ah!" like freaking out. But there was too many times where we would get into their box, and then maybe someone would shoot or it get blocked, and then it'd come back, and then we'd do that pass from side to side to side to side, and it slowly get passed back, and then it'd go back to Dawson. Dawson would pass it back to O'Connor, and I'd be like, don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking dare. And he'd pass it back to Fabian. So I was like, why we keep passing it backwards all the fucking time? And then, obviously, by the time we kick it forward again, well, they've got 9 players behind the ball now, rather than... It was just so slow.
I was watching it with one of the guys in the Bayou Ironworks. I watched it. Shout out Nick's place. But I mentioned that exact thing. I was like, why do we keep kicking it back to our end? Like, and he said, they're just trying to avoid the counterattack. And I guess that makes sense to a little bit, but it's just a boring brand of football to watch.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's a boring fucking brand of football. And that, like, the two brands of football that we saw on Saturday just did not mesh well in me fucking being entertained.
No, I think we should have went, because going into that game,
that also was worse.
What, we had 2 games already. 2 out of the 3 games previously, we scored 4 goals. We should have went at them. We should have went at them, but we just didn't. We just tried to break them down, and I don't know. They're going to be the type of team that is going to, because I'm not saying that we're like Man City and we're an amazing team, but I'm confident in saying that we're a better side than Southampton. And so, and they've seen us 2 games score 4 goals. Naturally, they are going to play the game where we're going to sit back, defend, and try to catch them on the counter. But it was almost like we was trying to, okay, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to do that too. And it was just kind of this weird, like, is that no one was going...
Is that what our thing is with, like when you play Man United, they don't give a shit. They're just going to throw everything they got at you anyways. But when you play the Burnleys and you play the Palaces and you play the Southamptons, which are like, I'm not taking anything away from them, but they just don't have they don't spend the money on these guys like the big 6 teams do. Like, is that just that's why we can beat those bigger teams more often than not? Like, a couple times each season where you steal a game from them just because they're not just sitting back, and then we fuck it up against Burnley because we're trying to do too much or we're not doing enough, and then Burnley just slips one past you and you drop a game against fucking Brighton or whatever. Like, I feel like that's what West Ham. All you have to do is sit back and you break West Ham's brain. Like, it's like, I don't know what happens. Even though we scored twice against Palace, it's like that was how they beat us. Basically, it felt like they beat us.
Yeah, I think we got. I don't know. We just got with the Palace game. We just kind of, once we scored our second goal, it was kind of like, hey, game's over. Oh shit! Wait, they scored. Fuck. I didn't see that happening. I just wasn't paying attention, but. Yeah, but I mean, positive vibes. Hashtag positive vibes only. 4 games into this season, we're still undefeated. There's only 5 teams in the Premier League that are undefeated so far. Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Everton are the only other 4 teams, I believe. And I think only 2 clubs have scored more goals than us. So I mean, it's relatively. It's a strong start to the season. I'm not going to take anything away from it, but it was just a very frustrating game. Like I said, I don't think it was necessarily bad, but we just wasn't very good, and it wasn't very exciting. And we need to switch that shit up. Looking ahead, we've got 2 games before our next show. First game is on Thursday. Dynamo Zagreb of Croatia in the Europa League. I'm excited, but I mean, we can follow on from what we were talking about last week. Where do you think the team selection is going to go? Because obviously, I hope that it's a guarantee that Antonio is going to start this game because he's not going to be playing on the weekend. So fuck it, might as well stick him in.
He's 100% locked in there. Just whether I don't know, he seemed gassed. He seemed gassed last week, and
it was his first. It was the first time he actually worked an international week at a break.
Right, but if he's gassed from that, then how much is it going to take to gas him out on like a Thursday game right after playing a Saturday? That's what I was worried about at least. The Dynamo Zagreb is definitely the best of the group besides us, I think, in my opinion. They're
but okay.
Table, but
I did a very minimal research on them, so it's quite currently Dynamo Zagreb are top of the Croatian league, but they qualified for the Europa League because they lost in the Champions League playoff to a team called Sheriff, who are currently 4th in the Moldovan national division.
Don't even know that. I didn't even know Moldova is a country.
Moldova is a country, has a league of football, and the team that Dynamo Zagreb lost to are currently 4th. They're only the 4th best in that league. So it's an interesting game.
Feel confident a little bit.
But I think,
maybe that's good.
Honestly, I would, if I'm David Moyes, I'm thinking, I don't want to be too negative too early in the season, but I'm not that I'm giving up against Man United, but I'm also kind of thinking, okay, out of those 2 games, this one in the Europa League is way more important to win than the Man United game. So if I'm David Moyes, I'm going to make some changes, obviously, but I'm thinking we just take the starting 11 that played Southampton and then just insert our 4 new signings. So I think we put Areola in instead of Fabianski.
I think Areola is basically a given that he's going to start. I think Zuma starts for sure.
I think Zuma should play in place of Dawson. Put him next to Ogbonna. I think put Krau, because you don't drop Rice because he's a captain. So I think Krau maybe plays with. Do you? Okay, do you play Krau with Rice or do you play Krau with Souček, his countryman? That would be an interesting one actually to look at. I don't know how that would work.
You have to start Rice in game 1 of Europa.
Because he's the captain. You have to put him in.
But then we also need Rice to go and stick it to Man United, so he'll just leave us the fuck alone about him.
So with that in mind, I wouldn't even be shocked. I wouldn't even be shocked if we see in the middle we see Noble and Krall. Now you're saying that, I wouldn't be shocked.
Because I think, and I've been trying to think, this is really one of the difficult, me mentally trying to be what are we gonna do? You had to kind of go. I thought balls to the wall against Southampton. You needed that win. We didn't. So maybe we got a little left of the tank. I don't know. So
the balls were far from the wall.
Ball gotta go to the wall against Dynamo Zagreb, I think, and then we gotta do that again on Sunday, and then just say I don't give a fuck about next week's Carabao game. I don't give 2 shits. Bring up all the youth squad, let them start, whatever. Let's go. I would prefer us probably get out of that quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a fuck about Carabao because again,
we don't need to hold off. We need to go all the way in on this.
When it comes to, because I appreciate some people get annoyed when Premier League sides put out a weakened side in the cups, like the Carabao Cup. But in this instance, I don't necessarily care about it because, like you say, we need to focus on the Europa League we're in right now because it's we don't want to not go at the Europa League this year because, hey, we want to try to win the Carabao Cup because that means we'll qualify for the Europa League. So, well, we're in the Europa League this year, so let's focus on that rather than trying to re-qualify already. So, I think Man United, I don't think they're going to win the league this year. They're not, but they are a better side than they were last year, and realistically, in the Carabao Cup, I think they're going to beat us. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but yeah, I think we should just forget about that game and focus on.
Because you have to start off
Dynamo
the Europa strong. You don't have as many opportunities for error on any obviously. Like in the Europa League, if you start 0-1, that puts you really behind it. And I think we're better than Rapid Vienna and whatever the other team
Genk.
is. And Genk, I think we're better than them. But like Dynamo is definitely the one that we were worried about the most coming in here. And I think you gotta let's get a nice little 3-1, 3-0 win against Dynamo Zagreb in the Europa League. Then ride that wave of like, okay, just got our first European win in a while. All right, let's go and beat Man United. And I think we could beat Man United. We probably won't, but we could. I mean, if the Young Boys Club, which I think is that's like the YMCA after school group, right? If they can beat Man United like they did today, then I think we could beat Man United. Maybe we're due for a Man United upset. I feel like we've not beaten them in a minute, so we could beat them. And I don't give a shit on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. Speaking
of the Young Boys versus Man United, did you see? Shout out to Jesse Lingard with the assist. Did you see that?
I actually have a theory I'd like to throw out to you.
All right, 1 second. Did you hear me about Jesse Lingard?
What happened?
Jesse Lingard in the 94th minute just passed the ball.
Oh, his pass, yeah.
To the player, and they scored. So yeah, technically that's an assist. Good for him. Okay, what's your theory? Alex's theory.
Goes into my theory that I wrote to bring up. I think the fix is in. I think Jesse wants out. I think Jay Lings is like, you know what? I want to move the next transfer window to West Ham again because I love it there. I fucking hate it here. And so he was like, watch this. Just gives the ball away. Now, what happens? His stock just plummets. So Man United's going to want to get rid of him. We're going to be able to get him on the cheap, so it's going to be easier for us to get him. Bam. Because he's not he knows he's getting the contract again next year anyways. He's a me guy right now, but a me guy because he's like, fuck Man United. He's a team guy, a we guy when he's on West Ham. He's just got to get there first. So I think he's just trying to get out of there.
Not that I want to be the guy that bursts your bubble. But, so, because Jesse Lingard is in the last year of his contract, he's able to move for free next summer. So I don't think any team is going to pay Man United any money in January because they'll just be like, well, I'll just wait 6 months and get it.
That's why he's like, what if they if I keep passing it to the other team, maybe Man United then has to give money to the other team to take me.
But yeah, we'll give you $5 million, West Ham, to take this guy.
That's they're like, all he does is score against us.
He's just ruining our season.
And then you're like, he's just gonna sit on the bench. Now what? Like, okay. You know what? We'll give you money. Just get him off our bench.
Maybe we'll see.
Something to think about.
Something to think about. No one's talking about that. It's a conspiracy.
I know.
Not enough people. So, actually, an interesting thing did actually come out of the Southampton game, which I noticed when Vlasic came on. It was quite interesting, even though he's like technically an attacking midfielder. Was it just me? Because again, I was watching on my phone, where you was watching at a bar on the big screens. But was it like that? It looked like he was playing almost as a second striker with Antonio rather than an attacking midfielder.
I do think that's what it looks like, and I feel like
okay.
And we definitely have our Antonio's out against United. This is our striker. I got those vibes.
Well, I mean, at the time they didn't know Antonio was out against United.
No, but like I'm saying, like when he came in, like that's now what I'm feeling like. Like it, I feel like Moyes, like like he molded Antonio into the kind of the player like wanted him to be, and like I think that he's slowly like, okay, well let's pledge up a little bit. Let's slide you here and just all right, we're subbing you in this game against Southampton. Nothing like we don't think it should be too crazy of a game for us, but. Here, go in here. And it was a meaningful game to be subbed into at that point. I don't know. I thought that, obviously he didn't score, but he did a lot of, there's a lot of stuff I liked that I saw out of him.
He looked good for the 20 minutes or so he was on. So, yeah, I think he comes on. He plays against Zagreb, I think, maybe in place.
You have to do that, right?
It's the law. He's playing in Croatia.
You
have to play the Croatian players. But maybe instead of Ben Rama? I don't know who you rest. Because I normally, under normal circumstances, I would have rested Antonio against Zagreb and put Vlasic up front. But yeah, since Antonio's missing a United game, fuck it, play him. Like, fuck.
Yeah, who gives a shit? But you might see Vlasic anyways. You may see him come in like the second half. Because I don't see Antonio being able to make it the entire game. If this isn't like a blowout or anything like that, like I would love it if we were up 4-0 and okay, this is the West Ham we wanted to see. Cool. Like let's pull Antonio, let him rest up or whatever. Or you just make him jog it around and it doesn't matter. But I don't see Vlasic not coming into this game if he's not starting at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, if we've learned anything from Antonio last season, it's not a bad thing to give him a week and a half rest. It wouldn't be that bad.
True.
But yeah, I will be very annoyed, but I'm still kind of holding. It's like a 20-30% where I wouldn't be shocked if fucking David Moyes names an unchanged team against Zagreb, which I'll be kind of annoyed about. But we'll see.
I think Zuma starts for sure. I think Areola starts for sure. I would be willing to bet quite a bit of money that they both start.
Yeah. And then
Crowell is probably going to make a move there. Because Crowell, you start Crowell now, and then you start Crowell in that Carabao game next week.
Right.
So you give him the break in between. I think like that's a perfect like.
That's long
term because you're looking like for the full schedule, and I was like, we got a lot of West Ham games, so on my calendar in my kitchen, I was trying to mark out those games, and like I feel like the every other kind of game like that, especially against the rest of the Europa League teams that we're going to be playing in the group stage. Crowell's cool to start. I'm cool with Crowell starting against Genko or whatever they are, or Rapid Vienna. I'm cool with them starting against them. Like, I would rather him not start against Man United's A squad. So throw him in the Carabao Cup, get him in there this week, and then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I don't know who you take out alongside with him.
Well, I think that's where maybe we could see the Noble Crowell partnership in the Carabao Cup.
It's like Noble, it's his final season. You have to get him in Europa football so you can say he played it at a certain point.
Oh, but I'd like to think they're holding off. No, I think you'd wait until after 4 games in the group, and we're like, oh, hey, we're guaranteed to qualify. All right, Noble, there you go. Have your play.
Okay. You don't think he's gonna start like that?
Not. I would be shocked if he starts this game.
Okay. Because I thought you were leaning towards that earlier, and I was like, I really don't want Noble starting.
No, I was, but I wouldn't be shocked if he does.
Suchek, didn't you? You meant Suchek, didn't you?
I think I would start. Okay, so my starting lineup would be Areola, and then Sufal, Cresswell, Zuma, Ogbonna at the back, and then keep. Then in the middle, Rice and Kral, I will start them. And then have Fornals, Vlasic, and Bowen, and then Antonio up front. That's what I would go with.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I like that lineup.
Get the 4 newbies in. Get them starting. Rest some of the first thing because
Man United. We need it. It's a game we need to win. I know it's very unlikely that we do win it. It's a game we need to win. Maybe steal a draw. I don't fucking know. We've been good at draws lately.
And the best, even though we're playing Man United, 3 days later, I think once you have the newbies in, like for example, Zuma, Vlasic, if they have a really good game and we beat, I'm not dismissing Zagreb, but I'm saying if we have a strong game and we beat them 3-4-0, say, then even though those players have only played 3 days ago, those players are going to be hyped to play against Man United.
Right.
So it could be good. So, okay, so there's going to be a lot of predictions here. What do you think? Okay, let's go. So West Ham versus Zagreb. How are you seeing this game go?
2-1, we beat them. I think. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get off to a good start. I'd like to think it'd be a bigger margin than that, but I don't know. I feel like we'll win.
I'm gonna go. Areola starts, gets a clean sheet on his debut. I think West Ham are gonna win 3-0 against Dynamo Zagreb.
All right.
And I'm predicting Vlasic is gonna get a goal. That's where I'm gonna go with that.
Fitting, very fitting.
Unless he doesn't start, then I'm not going to avoid that.
Now you're stuck with it.
And then I guess since we're not going to speak again officially on the podcast until after we play Man United in the Premier League. So where are you going? Because they've been killing it in the Premier League, but then even they played a pretty strong side against the young boys. I mean, yes, they had the red card, but tactically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, shit the bed royally tonight. Do you think he's going to fix that, or he's going to keep going, and we could maybe see a really bad Man United team on
I don't think
Sunday?
That's the case. I think we're going to see a very good Man United side, and I think
Ronaldo's going to score because that seems to be what he's going to be doing now. He's going to score every fucking game.
Yeah, so I feel like we're about maybe 3-2. I feel like it's not going to be fun.
Wait, are you going 3-2 Man United or West Ham?
Yeah, 3-2 Man U, and probably 3-1, and then we salvage one at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if this goes the same way as the last time we played. I believe it was the last time we played at Old Trafford, where we went 1-0 up, and then they scored a goal, and we just fell to pieces.
Yep.
So
we have confidence, and we're just like, fuck it, who cares? I'd like to think that's the case.
I want to keep the trend of positive vibes only, but this is about as positive as I can be. So I'm gonna go 2-2.
All right.
That's the best I can do. That's the best I can offer you, my friend.
I'll take that.
But yeah, it's an exciting time. We've got Giants back, West Ham playing a fuck ton of games. So much excitement, so much room for activities. It's a good time.
Disappointment.
And so much room for disappointment. Oh, yeah. Well, good luck to everyone involved. Hope you just have fun, because at the end of the day, aren't we all winners? That's the main thing. Coming up this week, we got a couple of other podcasts that me and Alex do tomorrow evening. A new Pasta Gravy comes out. What are the boys and girls got to look forward to tomorrow?
We're going to talk about football, some more football than we just talked about today. Fashion, the 2 Fs, football and fashion, because the Met Gala, I had some pretty hot takes on the gowns and the outfits that everybody wore. We're going to talk about the hurricane that happened here, and then some other cool stuff. We're going to answer your questions. I got some more business ideas to throw out to the people, and yeah, we'll tell you what's not cool this week, and we'll talk about you're not cool, which we'll also do about thin air. So at Pass Grade Pod, listen to that wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.
And then I have my Waffle Box podcast, where I recorded it yesterday, so I already know exactly what we talked about. Emma Raducanu, the British/Canadian/Romanian/Chinese tennis player who won the US Open, which again we didn't go into, but isn't that a reason why we all need to just mess around with each other? You know what I mean? How great of a mix! Canadian born,
not
Romanian father, Chinese mother, crushing it at tennis.
Incredible.
Hashtag don't be racist. No, there's no room for racism.
Although, he'll tell you.
Arlo White was so proud watching her win the US Open.
One of the greatest achievements I've ever seen in my life.
Bless him. And also we talked about a Spanish bishop who quit his job for erotic reasons, which is quite interesting. And El Salvador being crushed because they decided to make Bitcoin legal tender in their country. That was kind of stupid. Spoiler alert. So yeah, check those out. Pass the Gravy Pod at Waffle Box. Waffle Box Pod. Check those out. New episodes tomorrow. Give us some feedback. But obviously, if you are watching this on the video version, I'm trying to think of the fucking angles. I think hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications. Make sure you follow us at CBB Pod so you never miss a new episode. We're available on all podcast platforms unless there's ones I haven't heard of. Then they don't matter.
Most
Because-
of the ones that we can think of.
Yeah. We're on
Figure it
Stitcher. Stitcher. We're on
Weebly.
iHeartMedia.
My
iHeartRadio. My Face. We're on Habbo Hotel. Do you remember that?
Hulu.
Habbo. What was it? What was that? What was that fucking weird Habbo Hotel or something? Do you
I
remember
have
that?
no idea what you're talking about.
I'll have to look that up and bring it up next week. It was like a weird thing where you create like a little weird avatar for yourself and then a hotel room, and it was really kind of weird. But
I'm here for it.
Habbo Hotel. That was Habbo. Habbo Hotel.
Hotel.
Google it when you're after the show. Habbo Hotel. I don't know if it's still going. I doubt it. But there you go. But we might be on that. But yeah, look at that. It's gonna be. You're gonna go down a rabbit hole, my friend. It's gonna be a weird.
Bring
thing.
it back.
Maybe we're gonna bring it back. But yes. So until next week, enjoy the Giants and West Ham. And I forgot to play this last week, so don't forget.
Seahorses forever.
See you next Tuesday.